a Ph.D. who can win a bar fight, a cross between a Smith College graduate, a Powers model, and a Katie Gibbs secretary. Unusual but necessary qualifications for the OSS. Hello and welcome to Moments in History. I'm Linda Shenton-Matchett, author, speaker, and history geek. While researching my books, I unearth tons of intriguing historical information that doesn't end up in my stories. So I've created this channel to share those tidbits with you. When war broke out in Europe in 1939, Americans' intelligence gathering function was decentralized, with the Army, Navy, and State Department each collecting data independently. President Franklin Roosevelt knew that needed to change. However, political pressure hampered initial implementation. Then came the attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, and Roosevelt picked up the phone to contact William "Wild Bill" Donovan, a highly decorated soldier during World War I who was thought to be the only recipient of the Medal of Honor, the Distinguished Service Cross, the Distinguished Service Medal, and the National Security Medal. He also received the Silver Star and Purple Heart, as well as decorations from other nations for his service during both World Wars. He had become a Wall Street lawyer after his discharge. According to one report, the call came while Donovan was sitting in the bleachers at a football game on December 7, 1941, and the announcer interrupted the game to page Donovan. Originally called the Office of the Coordinator of Information, the organization came under the auspices of the White House. In June 1942, the name changed to Office of Strategic Services when the group became an agency of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Donovan was said to have had great personal magnetism, and a colleague described him as, quote, a rosy-cheeked, smiling gentleman with a voice as soft as the leaf of a shamrock, a shining light in his blue Irish eyes, and a punch in each hand like the kick of an army mule, unquote. Others commented that he was an inspiring yet unorthodox leader, a Republican with direct access to a Democratic president, a man who developed rapport with British intelligence and who eventually won the grudging respect from the American military despite his unpredictable methods of operating. The perfect candidate to lead an unorthodox organization. After many discussions with the British intelligence community and leadership in the Special Operations Executive, also known as the Baker Street Irregulars, Churchill's Secret Army, and the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, Donovan was ready to set up operations. Not only did he recruit America's social elite and top minds, he also rounded up burglars and con men. He hired for skills rather than background. Individuals underwent a battery of mental and physical tests, then chosen based on a combination of intelligence, imagination, creativity, courage, and ruthlessness. Donovan recruited from individuals from all walks of life, such as Major League Baseball catcher Moe Berg, actor Sterling Hayden, filmmaker John Ford, musician Miles Copeland, future Nobel laureate Ralph Bunche. He also secured people from around the globe, such as 51-year-old Russian Prince Serge Oblensky and future French Prime Minister Christian Pinault. At its peak, the OSS staff reached about 13,000, including approximately 4,000 women. About half the staff worked overseas. Special Operations is perhaps the most famous, dare I say it, most glamorous of the OSS branches, with its responsibilities of sabotage of all kinds, contact and support of resistance group, and quote-unquote special missions. However, the other branches were equally as important and played vital roles and included morale operations, research and analysis, research and development, communications, secret intelligence, and X2, the counter-espionage branch. Training facilities were required within a short distance of Washington, D.C., and several national parks and local recreation areas in Prince William County, Virginia were chosen. The sites that encompass more than 50 square miles were upgraded and transformed to provide living quarters, dining facilities, and most importantly, training grounds that included rifle, pistol, and submarine gun ranges, areas to practice parachute drops, map reading, setting explosive charges, combat exercises such as jiu-jitsu, wrestling and knife fighting, climbing, survival techniques, photography, cryptography, document forgery, stealth, disguise, and foreign languages. One unique training structure designed by Britain's SOE was the Pistol House, referred to by recruits as the House of Horrors and the Haunted House. The building simulated a house occupied by Nazis, and the interior was pitch black. Floors were unstable and featured frequent drops. A phonograph playing realistic sounds included men speaking in German. As the recruits moved through the house, they encountered papier-mâché Nazis with pistols. One source described the final test, unknown to trainees, as the graduation party. Alcohol flowed in a relaxed and social atmosphere. The purpose was to collect psychological data and to tempt the recruits to divulge secrets. Depending upon the selected branch, training lasted from 6 to 13 weeks. The Research and Analysis branch was made up of civilian scholars and academics and collected scraps of information from myriad, often mundane sources and cobbled them together into meaningful intelligence. The compiled information about economic, geographic, strategic, and political aspects of various countries was crucial. Counterintelligence was responsible for protecting OSS's intelligence program from the enemy and included gathering information and doing whatever was necessary to prevent espionage, sabotage, assassinations, or other activities performed by the opposition. Alan Dulles, who would later be director of the CIA, was located in Switzerland and was by all reports responsible for significant achievements. As one site indicated, he, quote, obtained some of the best human intelligence coups of the war when he located where the V-1 and V-2 rockets were being made, who was selling secrets to the Nazi, and his knowledge of the German general's conspiracy to assassinate Hitler in 1944, unquote. Another member of the counterintelligence branch, Peter Tompkins, secured information about the impending German counterattack at Anzio. Additional intelligence revealed a hole in the German defenses on the Rhone River Valley. And in 1945, an undercover agent provided the location of a German panzer division. Morale operations was an interesting moniker. Anti-morale operations might be a better label. The branch was responsible to produce and disseminate black propaganda aimed at undermining enemy governments and encouraging resistance movements. They designed and printed leaflets, spread false rumors, and broadcasted radio programs against the Germans. Operation Cornflakes dropped decoy mailbags filled with personal letters aimed at German soldiers. The hope was that the scattered mailbags were thought to be real and put through the postal system. One report indicates that in Italy, approximately 10,000 German soldiers surrendered or deserted because of those letters. A rather creative project called Operation Lonely Hearts dropped leaflets and forged letters that included a drawing of 2 intertwined hearts and suggestions that homesick soldiers on leave could find companionship by pinning the emblem on their lapels. The campaign exploited the fears of German soldiers regarding the fidelity of their women back home and was so successful the Washington Post ran an article about it, thinking it was real. Operation Sauerkraut used released POWs who agreed to go behind the lines in German uniforms to disseminate leaflets and false rumors in northern Italy. Communications branch trained personnel in a 10-week program that included radio maintenance, Morse code, cryptography, and communications procedures and security, who then worked in every theater that OSS operated in. The centers served as clearinghouses, receiving messages from field teams relaying them to commanders and OSS headquarters, and issued orders and instructions to groups in the field. Less well known is that the OSS also operated in the Pacific Theater. Rather than branches, the organization was separated into detachments. Located in Burma, Detachment 101 was to collect intelligence on enemy orders of battle, find targets for the 10th Air Force, rescue downed air crews, and recruit native troops. Detachment 202 collected intelligence and supported Chinese forces in order to occupy as many Japanese troops as possible. Detachment 303 worked in New Delhi, India, focusing on intelligence gathering and interrogations, preparing for operations against Japan. Detachment 404 was attached to the British in Ceylon and helped coordinate intelligence collection and operations of various covert operations, as well as recruiting indigenous personnel to be inserted as trained agents. The group also established coast watchers to gather meteorological and topographical information, report on Japanese shipping, and rescue downed airmen. Detachment 505 was located in Calcutta, India. They produced forged Japanese documents and postage stamps, hopefully to disrupt operations. Detachment Deer Team was created in May of 1945 to intercept materials from Hanoi in central Vietnam to northeast Vietnam in an effort to keep Japanese military units from entering China. They also sent intelligence report to Asians stationed in China and providing training, medical, and logistics assistance to Ho Chi Minh. Intriguingly, there were rivalries between the OSS and other U.S. departments. The most fierce reportedly with J. Edgar Hoover and his FBI. He had apparently managed to get South America as a jurisdiction and refused to allow the OSS to operate within its borders. MacArthur also banned OSS from operating in areas under his control. After the war ended, Donovan attempted to keep the OSS going, but the Army, Navy, State Department, and FBI would not hear of it. With his champion, FDR, gone, the organization didn't stand a chance, and on October 1st, 1945, the department was abolished. Despite its short life, 3 years and 3 months, it is the foundation on which much of modern U.S. intelligence has been built. In 2006, Congress awarded a Congressional Gold Medal to the OSS as an organization. Would you like to learn even more history? Please stop by my blog found at www.lindashentonmatchett.com. Thank you for watching and have a great day.